Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News. Now, the pleasure to be joined by heavyweight contender Otto Wallin for the first time. Otto, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All the better for talking to yourself today. I mean, I've caught you at a good time. It's about a week before, well, bang on a week before fight week. How are you heading into this one?
Well, just so there's 2 weeks left, just to
Oh,
clarify,
2 weeks.
but
Sorry.
1 week until fight week, but 2 weeks until the fight. But no, I mean I've been training a lot and just trying to get better, get ready for the fight, and it feels good. I've had good sparring, good training, so looking forward to get back in the ring.
Definitely as well. Obviously, last in the ring in December. Obviously, that loss to Anthony Joshua. I mean, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Obviously, massive occasion for yourself. But kind of, how do you look back on that night in Riyadh?
Well, first and foremost, I had a great time over there. In general, the people are really nice, took really good care of us. So that was really nice. It was a good experience out there. And the fight obviously didn't go my way. I thought I was gonna do a lot better. I felt like I was gonna win the fight, but Joshua fought a good fight. I've been looking at the fight, of course, and I see a few things that I should work on and try to do better. And I've been doing that, trying to improve some things in both in my defense and in my offense. So yeah, I think that it was a good experience out there, but it was a tough loss.
Definitely as well. Are you ready on the comeback trail in a couple of weeks against a good guy, 20 and 4. He's been in the likes with Jolalov as well more recently, but very much kind of have this fight and then kick on back onto the world stage as well later this year.
That's my plan, but I can't overlook this guy. He has 20 wins, 19 knockouts. So you got to be ready at all times. Don't walk into anything, of course. And but I think that I'm the better fighter. I should handle him, and well, you can never underestimate anyone. So you just got to take care of business, and then we take it from there.
Definitely as well. I have to
Excuse me.
I have to talk about kind of the win that you had before for the Anthony Joshua fight. Obviously, you had a very, very good away win against Murat Gassiev as well in Russia away. I don't want to go into any kind of conversations about scoring, but everyone knows to get the win on points in Russia against the Russian is a big achievement, Otto, as well. But kind of you want to carry on that momentum that you had from that Gassiev win as well into going into this fight as well.
Yeah, I guess that win has kind of went, I don't know, under the radar a little bit since it was actually in Turkey, but it was his
Oh,
promoter,
sorry.
the Russians guys, and it was just mainly Russians there in the crowd, and maybe some Turks also. And then I had a little clique of my people, my family and friends. But it was a good fight, and it was a good win for me. My best win so far. And Gassiev, is kind of a guy that I would say not many people wanted to fight. So when I got the opportunity, I was happy about it. I was just waiting to get something, and it was a good fight for me. I think I felt like I handled him, and I felt like I won almost every round. And then for some or somehow they got it to a split decision, but at least I got the win. I was very worried after I heard that it was a split decision. I was really really worried. I thought I was gonna get robbed, but thankfully it worked out for me. I got the win, and of course I wanna build on that, even though I'm coming off a loss now. But it's important for me to get this fight here and get a win, and then just take it step by step.
No, definitely as well. I feel like it's good to remind people of like that win against Gassiev. Like you said, it did go under the radar, but Gassiev, former unified champion at cruiserweight, it shows what a great win it is as well. Otto, I have to bring up. Obviously, you're one of the. I think you are one of the only people to have fought both Anthony Joshua and kind of Tyson Fury. Kind of. Forgive me if you've been asked this quite a lot, but has your opinion on a potential fight between Joshua and Fury changed since your fight with Anthony Joshua?
It has changed actually. It's pretty interesting that you say that because it has. I always felt like Fury was gonna win that fight pretty comfortably, but we always knew that Joshua was a big puncher, so he's always gonna be dangerous. But for myself, I had a much tougher fight with Joshua, and I felt like he was a lot sharper when I was in the ring with him than when I was in with Fury. So for me, it was harder to fight Joshua than Fury and more difficult. But styles makes fights, so you can't just say because that's what happened to me. It's gonna be the same with them. Fury's a big guy. He's awkward, and he's a smart fighter. He has a lot of heart. so, so he's always gonna be hard to beat. But Joshua, I feel like Joshua now is very good. He's powerful. He's strong. He's fast. But it's not a given. I think it's a 50-50 fight. So it'll be very interesting to see how a fight like that will play out.
Definitely. How do you kind of see the heavyweight fight between Joshua and Dubois going down on September the 21st?
I think it's an interesting fight with Dubois and Joshua. I think that if Dubois comes out firing and can land a couple shots on Joshua, get his respect, I think that would be good for, because Dubois is a big puncher, and that's probably his best weapon in that fight. If he can create some doubt in Joshua's mind, that would be good. Especially him now coming off of 2 good solid wins, Joshua, and being more aggressive and assertive. If Dubois can take him out of his game a little bit, that would be big. And then I think it could turn into a good fight. But just judging from Dubois' last fight with Hrgovic, he obviously came through and did well and won the fight and stopped Hrgovic. But in the beginning of the fight, he was getting hit with a lot of shots. And if he's gonna get hit that easy with Joshua, it could be an early night. I think that if that happens, then I think Joshua knocks him out within 6 rounds. But if he can tighten up a little bit and land a few shots on Joshua, like I said, create some doubt, then it can turn into a good fight.
Definitely. I feel like that's why it's such an interesting fight. And I feel like it's getting the Brits excited because those elements that you've mentioned as well, Otto, as well. I want to bring it back to yourself. I mean, long-time trainer Joey Gamache, obviously still in the corner. But kind of, and I saw in another interview that you've done, kind of the relationship that you guys have, the trust that you have in him. I mean, how has that kind of gone from strength to strength, kind of since the fight with AJ?
Well, first, we've been together for over 10 years now. We started out in Denmark. I had 2 fights. Then I came with Joey, and we, teamed up, and we've been together for over 10 years now. And we lived in Denmark for like 4 years, and now we're in New York. We've been here since 2017 together. And our relationship is very good. I trust Joey. He's taken me, always looked out for me. Over these 10 years, he's never pulled me out of anything, a fight or sparring or anything. So when he stopped the fight in Saudi, I thought it was a good decision. And I trust him. He saw where he was going, and it wasn't going my way that night. Maybe if I kept fighting, I would have kept fighting, but maybe something could have changed. But it wasn't looking great for me. So I think it was the right choice, and he probably saved me from taking unnecessary punishment. And I lived to fight another day. So that's good. And then after the fight, I just spoke to him and I said, I think you made the right decision. I trust you, and we just kept going from there. And I think we have a great relationship, and I trust him, he trusts me. So that's very important. A relationship like this you can only build over time.
No, definitely as well. I feel like a lot of fighters kind of jump to leave trainers after defeats, but you and Joey, you've stuck together, like you said, because of that long lasting relationship that you've had as well. I know, Otto, we've said kind of obviously all eyes on your fight in a couple of weeks, but obviously a win on July the 26th, obviously pushing on to that world level. I have to ask, obviously you were scheduled to fight Dillian Whyte, obviously in the UK. I feel like a lot of the UK fans were excited. I remember speaking to your promoter at the time, Dimitri Salita, how you were literally with your suitcase at the airport, ready to fly here. I mean, would that rescheduling that fight, would that appeal to you down the line?
It would. I got this question not too long ago from somebody else, and definitely, I think that Dillian, he's a funny character. He always seems to be up to something, but I would love to fight him. I think it's a really good fight for me, and I think I'll beat him. So I'm up for it. I want that fight. I think it would be great. Put me right back in the mix.
No, it definitely would as well. I mean, it's exciting times for yourself, Otto. Heading forward, and we all know, we all know how good you are from that win against Murat Gassiev as well. Otto, we've smashed through my questions, mate. We've just got one more. We ask everyone who comes on the channel this. When all's said and done, what does boxing mean to you?
Wow, That's a good question. Boxing for me means it means a lot. It's giving me so much. I started out in Sweden, in my hometown, Sundsvall. It's a small town of like 100,000 people. Started training at the boxing club in the basement there, and boxing, professional boxing, wasn't even allowed in Sweden. It was illegal for 40 years, and then so that wasn't really on my mind to fight in Sweden ever. But then, you know, I was lucky. One day I got a call from Sauerland, and I turned pro. I had my first 20 fights with them. I first moved to Berlin, then Copenhagen. I was there. Now I'm in New York, and I got to travel all over the world. I experienced all these different cultures, different people. So boxing for me is so big, and I wouldn't be the guy I am without it, and I wouldn't be here in New York living a great life without it. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have boxing. It's just it's a lot. Maybe it's everything.
Wow, I mean, I have to ask on that, Otto. I feel like Celia Breakhouse, when I was talking to her, there's a similar situation with boxing being banned where she's from as well, especially from the female code. I mean, how has that changed in Sweden now? Have you been a part of kind of that change, pioneering boxing in Sweden?
Yeah, it's allowed now.
No.
Boxing is allowed. There's still some restrictions, but I think it was they started with 4 rounders in 2007. But then it took until I think it was 2015 that we had a first first like 12-round fights. It was Eric Skoglund that had that fight. I fought on the undercard. So Eric and his father, they were really the guys behind bringing boxing back to Sweden. They did a really big job with the government to convince them to bring back boxing and real boxing, not just 4-rounders. So they did a really good job, and then Eric, obviously, he went on. He got injured, which was sad, but at least he got to have 2-3 fights in Sweden before his injury. And I've had probably 4 or 5 fights in Sweden as well. I had 2 in my hometown, which was really, really nice, and have all my friends, all my people there. And hopefully, before I retire, I'll go back there. So boxing. We got 2 people in the Olympics now. One guy, one girl. So that's good, and I think that hopefully boxing keeps getting bigger.
No, definitely, and all the best to them as well, Otto, as well. I mean, Otto, as I said, we've smashed through it. Have you got any final words for your fans waiting to see you return in a couple of weeks' time, mate?
I just want to say thanks for all the support that I get from all over, and I've been training very hard, trying to improve. So hopefully, I go out there, get a big performance, and then get something bigger in the fall.
Definitely, Otto Wallin. Thank you again for your time today, mate, and yeah, best of luck.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.